Hi, I have Marz Brewing from Chicago's Double Jungle Boogie. It's a stronger, more intensely hopped version of their very popular Jungle Boogie that is also brewed for them by Against the Grain. Those cans get out here kind of off into the Boston area, but I bought this beer in the Chicago area. I'm pretty sure it's rather fresh, but of course, they don't mark anything on their bottles. Please do that. They used to put the batch date, and you could look up how fresh that batch was. Now, under batch number, it says nothing. But this one's 8.5%. It is just heavily late hopped and heavily dry hopped. Assuming they use Mosaic, the same one they say they use in Jungle Boogie. I had this beer once, a little over 2 years ago, and I liked it. I don't remember too much about it, but I think it should be exciting. Oh, the big kicker about all the Jungle Boogie variants is that they use rooibos tea, and the rooibos tea and the Mosaic just interact in this cool, fruity, berry tea-like way that makes me really like regular old Jungle Boogie. It'll be interesting to try this one after all of the very different double IPAs I've had in the past 2 years. Yeah, so this beer's a little dark, but I think some of the color is coming from the rooibos tea, because rooibos tea kind of gives a little bit of a reddish, dark reddish color to tea, and that's definitely in this beer. And the Marz beers tend to have a little bit of sediment on the bottom of them. I've had some that were like really hazy, like I think it was pineapple boogie that I got that was like really hazy and it was really good. And I had peach boogie also recently that was really good too. But it's been a while since I've had the double jungle, and it looks pretty nice. But it kind of looks like a really old-fashioned double IPA, and this is categorized as a double IPA on Untapped, but it doesn't quite fit that description. I mean, it's in between. It's kind of like a red ale. It's hoppy, but it's not bitter. And the smell of this has lots of nice woodsy berry hops going on, and rooibos, and some kind of peach, some like cooked syrupy peach. And this light is a little too intense. That might be better. And the head's sticking around. Okay, it's soapy. It wasn't a huge head. This glass does not make the most big head. It smells really nice. It's just a more intense Jungle Boogie, I would say. Because sometimes when beers are, imperialized, made bigger, it seems like it's a totally different beer. They could have given it a different name and not related it to the lower alcohol version, but this is very, very similar to regular Jungle Boogie. And it smells like a red zinger tea almost. It's not gonna be tart. It doesn't have like that hibiscus, tart flowery berry thing. It's more towards the earthy, woody, almost oaky type woodsy berry thing. If that's a thing. It's bordering on cherry actually. Especially in the stronger version with just more malt and sweetness, which hopefully won't be kind of medicinal cherry cough syrupy in the flavor, because with the higher alcohol content, it's almost as strong as cough syrup. Nice feel. This one is a lot more bitter than a regular Boogie. That one's really it's like a pale ale, a red ale. This really makes sense as a double IPA after you have a sip of it. Ooh, and the foam is kind of forming a yin yang or a moon in there. You can't really see it. But it punches you with the hops. It dries your mouth out pretty quickly, though you do notice a hint of caramel sweetness. I mean, I don't know if they use crystal malt or caramel malt in here, or if it's just the rooibos bringing it out. I bet there's it's coming from both aspects. A little bit of toastiness, but lots of like grapefruit juice, but with a little bit of caramel drizzled on top. But it does have this red roasted malt character that reminds me of almost like a Dunkel lager, a Munich Dunkel lager from Germany. Maybe they use Munich malt in it. I don't know. And the body isn't really full or too sweet, but it does have some weight to it. It's not juicy, it's not thick or anything quite like that exactly, but I can tell it's 8.5%. Not much burn. I can't tell if the bitterness will build up and be too much, or if I'll just kind of get used to it. But I think the bitterness has an effect that's similar to like a milder old-fashioned double IPA. It doesn't seem like it's measurable to be like over 100 IBUs or anything like that. And it's got a really soapy head in there. You can tell that this is packed with hops. Even though it's died down, it still has these big bubbles, and it looks like there's actual soap in the beer a little bit, even though of course there isn't. It's definitely more complex, but I think I like the lower alcohol boogies more, and the flavored ones more than this one. I haven't tried like blueberry boogie, I don't think. I'm not a huge fan of the darker berries mixed in within hoppy beers. But I kind of liked how those ones are really fruity and have this cool tea thing going on and toastiness, but this one's just too bitter and too toasty for me. If you like that hop bite punch resinous quality, this might be for you. It doesn't have any like caddy, piney, oniony, garlicky, weird resinous things going on that you would expect from a West Coast IPA. It's more of just like a generic, very clean resinous bitterness. It just gives you that drying out of your tongue, the alpha acid effect, without having a lot of flavor that detracts from the Mosaic and the Rooibos. Yeah. But it is kind of fun to drink. It's still very different flavors from most beers out there, and really packed in there, because I think a lot of people could drink regular Boogie, and be like, yeah, it's kind of a boring like red ale, and not really notice the subtle difference it has from most hoppy red ales. But this one is almost like a red IPA, and then it's flavored with Mosaic and the tea. It's not like the Mosaic and the tea are the leading factors, at least in my eyes and mouth. If you like Jungle Boogie, I definitely give this one a try, but I'm not sure if I'm going to buy this again. I'll probably just pass it up for the flavored ones and the regular Boogies from now on. But it is a beer that definitely deserves to exist. But I'm not one for strong red IPAs, and the effect and flavors in my mouth that I'm having right now, that's really what it comes down to at the end. Maybe it'll be better when I pour some of the sediment in here. But yeah, I'll put that in if my thoughts change, what I tend to do is try to put it in the comments, or not the comments, the description of my video. But we'll see. I don't know if this one will. The bitterness is getting a little much. The red toastiness is a little much. It's just giving me flashbacks to old red IPAs and stuff. But I still give it around a 4, I guess. Maybe slightly under. That's what the rating is. I know the rating on Untappd is actually higher. It's like 4.14. But it doesn't really get up to New England. I feel like a lot of New Englander tastes are a little different from this. This is still kind of along with the Midwestern tastes. If any of this is offending you, just let me know. Bye-bye.